Hello, and welcome to Health is Wealth with yours truly, Stacia Love Philosophy Kelly, the show that gives inspiration, enlightenment, and insight to health and wellness. Today, we're going to be talking about overcoming a specific type of challenge in the workplace with our guest, Lakesha Hairston. We'll discuss the ins and outs of being a boss with tough skin while also being virtuous. Be sure to listen all the way through for added perspectives in the workplace. Tune into the show every other week on podcast networks. And if you are watching the show on YouTube, please make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and hit that bell for notifications. You know how the cliche saying goes. And without further ado,
Momo, did you hear something?
Through the highs and the lows, just know you're not alone. 'Cause your health is your wealth. So for me, take care of yourself. It's a simple love philosophy. Take care of you for me. Yeah, it's a simple philosophy. Take care of you for me.
Love, philosophy.
all right. Don't you just love that intro?
I do, girl. I'm sitting up here bouncing, like, for real.
Listen, shout out to Isaiah Porter, upcoming singer in Fort Wayne. He hooked me up.
He did his thing, because, I mean, those words, too. Those words are the bomb.
Oh, yes. He perfectly described what I was trying to accomplish with this show.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, our guest today is Miss Lakesha Hairston. She's an entrepreneur, nurse, supervisor, and educator in the healthcare field with a master's in nursing, a bachelor's in nursing, and she's a registered nurse with a passion for healthcare and self-improvement. My TT, she's been a director and progressed into the Alphabet Exec Club as a CNO, Chief Nursing Officer. She is going to share with us her perspective on having tough skin in a tough workplace. Hi, Keisha. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, Stacia. Love philosophy, Kelly.
What's going on?
Not much, girl. Not much. You know, chilling. You know, I'm in Memphis visiting my sister.
Oh, yes. My mother.
Yes, your mom.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Yes, my mom, she is Sun Toucher. She's a poet, and she's also battling lung cancer right now. And she's just such a joy to be around. And she makes TikTok videos and have us laughing.
Girl, I be cracking up on her TikTok videos. Be like, how you be doing all of that?
She's a whole mess.
She is a hot mess. Goofy, love it. That's one thing she have not done was allow her diagnoses, her illness to diminish her as a person.
She sure
I'm telling you, inspiration.
And she does not want to hear none of that negativity.
She don't. And then I'm wondering how you still be dancing like that? I don't get it.
She be tired afterwards.
I see it. But she be getting it. It's like, would you sit down?
She has always been a dancing machine, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this. All right, our first question for you is define what it means to have tough skin in the workplace, and what does that look like?
Oh, Stacia, let me tell you. Tough skin in the workplace. You know, I'm a nurse, okay? I have to start there because as a nurse, you have to have tough skin. This is not a profession that is easily, mastered. I have to use that word, mastered. It's not a profession that's easily mastered. We go through a lot as nurses, and people really don't understand the trenches that we're in as nurses, number one. So having tough skin, you know, a lot of people think that having tough skin, you know, Webster's dictionary will say, you know, lacking sensitivity or something like that. But, you know, having tough skin is pretty much, you know, dealing with so much, but not taking it personal.
Oh yeah, taking it personal.
Yeah.
I have this philosophy about taking it personal. I feel as though we're human beings and we're emotional people, and taking it personal is what we do. So how do you feel about that?
Well, we've talked about this before, and you've said that it's a cliche, and it really is. But in nursing, that's what we say, and that's how we encourage each other. That's how we motivate each other. Don't take it personal, because we're not only dealing with our peers, we're not only dealing with, the organization that we work for. We're dealing with the patients. We're dealing with their family. We're dealing with, community. We're dealing with, other facilities that we're sending our patients to and that we're receiving patients from. We're dealing with, people that just come into the hospital just because, and it's like, okay, why are you even in here? But, we deal with the volunteers, other departments. So having tough skin is being able to do your job well, be knowledgeable.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, be knowledgeable.
Yep.
And not allow things to kind of knock you off of your square. And I have to say that because our priority is that patient in the bed.
Oh, yeah.
That's our priority.
Yep.
So having tough skin is dealing with everything that we're faced with and leaving your shift feeling good.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And the patient, that bedside manner got to be right.
Got to be right. Yes, absolutely.
All right, so how would you relate having mental toughness to positive health outcomes?
Again, it's not easy, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time. I've been a nurse for quite some time. It's not a long time, but it seems forever, because the field that we're in, it is mentally draining. It's emotionally draining. It drains you physically. So I've been a nurse for about 14 years. I've been in healthcare as a whole for over 30 years. But, mentally, like I said, it's draining. But, in order to have that toughness, it takes time. And again, and I hate to keep saying this because it is kind of cliche, but once you, enter the field, you have some individuals enter the field not really knowing what to expect.
Yeah,
so once they get into the field, it's like, oh my goodness, this is not what I was thinking. Yeah, this is not what I was thinking nursing was. It's like, well,
so what is the normal flow, or however they feel when they come into it? Like, what is their perspective jumping into it?
Well, some nurses or newbies, we call them novice nurses, just graduated from a nursing program. With me being in leadership for such a long time, I'm an educator. What I try and do is, these new nurses, before they even finish their program, I don't want to scare them away, but, I make sure I tell them, look, you're in school right now, so you're learning everything according to the book. You're not quite in the real world. And this is what I want you to you got to be open-minded. You have to be open-minded. You cannot walk into this profession, with a closed mind. And some of them, I've heard, new nurses say, I thought I was going to get paid more than that. That's
really? Is that the biggest surprise that they...
Yes.
Wow.
One of them, yes. Yeah. Absolutely, because we don't get paid that much. I'm just saying, but you gotta love the profession.
Hey, it's that pay is like a dagger to the heart sometimes.
It is. And and I tell the nurses, if you're going in it just for the money, this isn't the profession for you.
Right? Yeah, your heart gotta be
in it. That patient is so much more than a dollar sign. So money, the long shifts that we work, 12-hour shifts. And then sometimes, you're there for 16 hours. If someone calls in, you're there for 16 hours and you're wondering if there's going to be a replacement for you.
So that means that burnout is very prevalent in that field.
Burnout is very prevalent, and that's why mental health is so important. So I'm glad you asked that question, because mental health is so important. Burnout, the strain that it does on your body and your mental, because we put everything aside, everything. You drive up to that hospital, you get out of your car, as you're walking up to that door, if your kid's at home sick, guess what? You putting that off to the side.
Yeah.
If you having problems with your significant other, You put that off to the
Yes,
side.
yes.
If you didn't pay your rent, you putting that off to the side because that patient in that bed becomes your priority once you step your foot in that door. So it's draining on your mental health.
Yes, and it's tough. I come from a background of business, so I mean, we go through peak season in different industries and things of that nature, and we're thinking this is tough. Like we're only going through peak season from September to December, and we're like, oh my God, this is so much, and it's other professions that are just doing, way more than what we're doing. We're just shipping boxes out the back door, and you guys are catering to, patients and following up with doctors and facilitating and all the good stuff that goes into healthcare to make it operate appropriately. So we thank you guys for that, especially during this panorama.
I know, right, man? I'm telling you, this pandemic, the past 17 months has pretty much changed our profession.
Oh yeah, it
Changed.
It has.
We have nurses exiting to the left, to the right, to the back. They're getting out because they did not feel supported when this pandemic hit. Being told that, wear your same mask, for, you can't, if you're sweating in your mask, you still have to wear it. Not having enough PPE, and what COVID did, I mean, how many lives were lost, and again, what do? We put that aside. We're afraid. I'm telling you,
I know
afraid.
it is. Yeah.
There's
especially when it first hit.
Man, Stacia, I'm telling you, doctors, everyone in healthcare pretty much, you got to put it aside, but all at the same time, you're like, I can't take this home to my family.
Yeah.
There's individuals, I hear stories or heard stories with some of my peers, having young kids, 2-3 years old. I haven't hugged my baby in 3 weeks.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and you said that key word, peak season. There is no peak season.
Right. Every day. Every day we hustle.
Every day we hustle. There is no peak season. There is no peak season. So it's on all the time. All the time.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
but you know what? You gotta love it.
Yeah, you do have to love it. You have to love what you do in order to do a great job. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So I completely agree with that. And then also I want to add that because we're, we were getting ready to go into like a shortage of nursing anyway because the baby boomers were getting ready to retire. So like now it's like, okay, what are we up against now? 10, 20 years from here.
Exactly.
With nurses exiting and possibly new people coming in and workforce that's very changed. So
very changed. Yeah.
So let's get to this next question here. What would you tell your 20-year-old self now as a woman that has been in leadership roles to prepare for the mental challenges that you're going to go through in the next 10 to 20 years?
So 20 years ago, let me see, how old was I 20 years ago? 20 years ago, I did have my baby. So, I had grew into healthcare somewhat. Grew into healthcare just a tad bit. But I did not really know what I was getting myself into. I knew that I wanted to be a leader. I knew that I didn't know how far I was going to go. But then I decided that, I was going to just go for it. I didn't have a mentor when I decided, that nursing leadership was, my trajectory. I didn't have a mentor. So I was learning things, just learning it, just sailboating, you might as well say. And so I would tell my 20-year-old self that fear that you had of becoming a professional nurse, that fear that you had of becoming who you were destined to be, just face it, and don't be afraid. Just face it. And I would also have to apologize to my 20-year-old self as well, because, there were things that I learned and I knew better, but I didn't do better. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I would have to apologize to myself, being more wise, because I think that, if I had that guidance, then there, some of the mistakes that I made, or even the directions that I took, as I grew into the profession, I would have taken a different avenue. But,
So do you feel as though you're more tough on yourself than others are, or?
Yeah, I think so, because even people now, they will say, they think that I'm getting it, and it's like, I have a lot to learn, I'm still growing as an individual, but they view me as an inspiration. They don't know my history. They don't know my story. They don't know what I went through to get here. They don't know how I, kind of just internalize things because I did not have a mentor.
Right.
There was no one that I felt that I could talk to that would really understand, hey, I'm trying to do this in nursing. I'm trying to go this far in nursing. And there's not too many, I'm sorry, I have to say it, but there's not too many African American women in these executive leadership roles. So, I just have
think
to say
that's
that.
Across the board in a lot of professions.
Yeah.
In a lot of industries, it's just that African American presence or Black presence is not there, and we need representation.
Yeah, I didn't have a mentor, and I think, I would tell my 20-year-old self to seek out for a mentor, because I think that, longevity, I would have had more longevity, in that executive role, seeing the things that I saw and hearing some of the things that I heard. It was just my morals were being tested too. So I just felt that, that wasn't good for me. So I would tell my 20-year-old self, find a mentor, that will be able to help you along the way.
Yeah, definitely. Mentor is very important. I feel like I gained a mentor kind of late in the game too, so I'm right there with you. I definitely didn't do it when I was in my 20s, so coming into my 30s, and I'm like, hey, I need somebody that knows this thing and can help me, guide me. And have you heard of the black tax?
Mm-mm.
The black tax is when Black folks got to work harder to.
No, I've never heard of that.
You got to pay that tax. You got to work harder. Work harder because you're Black, and then on top of that, you're a woman.
Yeah.
So finding a mentor that can help guide you through that. They already paid that tax. They're gonna pass it down for you.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I done paid mine.
Yeah, you did.
I done paid mine. I done worked hard, honey. I done worked hard.
I feel that. Me too. I've been in leadership for a long time at a very young age. I've always had leadership qualities, and people have always seen that in me. So I definitely feel a lot of the things that you speak on. I have stories too. We always wake up in the morning when you're here and have our little coffee talk and talk about our professions and
feed off of each other's knowledge and education, our ideas, sharing things.
And I appreciate you for that. You're a real OG.
I've never been called an OG, but thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get on your level. You're an officer. You've been an officer. I'm trying to be an officer.
Yeah, I have.
Officer of the law.
Yeah. But I have to tell you, being, those credentials, some people take those credentials and that's what they are, credentials,
Yeah.
And it's not, to me, it wasn't about, having those letters behind my name, because, I was still going to be that leader that my team needed. You have to be, and I wouldn't ask my team to do something that I wouldn't do.
Absolutely.
There were things that I've seen, heard, and, I just didn't want that to challenge my morals anymore. So guess what I did? I became an entrepreneur.
You biz-ounced.
I did.
What they say in Memphis, you got on down.
Oh, is that what they say?
That's what they say in Memphis. It's kind of 70-ish. Like jive till we got on down. I don't know why they talk like that. I love the people in Memphis. It's a nice place to live. A lot of culture here and a lot of opportunities for Black people and Black entrepreneurs and leadership. And that's where I got my start really in leadership. So I appreciate Memphis for bringing me up in the game.
Yeah.
With tough skin, because I've learned a lot.
Yeah. I've seen you grow.
Yeah.
I've seen you grow. It's like, look at my niece.
I know. I'm still with the shits though.
You got on down. Is that how they say it?
Got
in
on
Memphis got on down. How they say it?
They say, man, he got on down.
Okay.
I adapted some of the little sayings. Some of them I can get with. I can't get with all of them, but
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's crazy. But I thank you so much for coming on the show and giving us your perspective and your expertise on wellness, health and wellness, and how to, overcome those challenges in the workplace. I appreciate that.
We can talk more if you want. I'll be your podcaster, 10 times from now?
Oh, yeah. You can come back on
We got
the show.
so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Because we're talking about health.
Absolutely.
Care field, and that's where I'm going. I'm going more of the administrative route, but yes, you've been in operations and in clinical, and so we definitely appreciate you folks on the other side.
Thank
of
you.
the house.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, definitely. Come
Stacia
back.
Love Philosophy Kelly.
Thank you.
This is a good platform that you're doing. You're giving people the opportunity to voice. We don't always have that opportunity, so.
Absolutely, and I'm always here. Everybody always, know I'm trying to come with some knowledge and try to change people's lives, and try to offer a different perspective and some enlightenment on different topics and situations. So I definitely thought it was necessary, and I don't see a lot of it.
Yes, absolutely.
But we need that. We need that in our communities. So. All right. Well, next week we're going to continue to provide you with some love philosophy on health is wealth by discussing illness and disease with my mother as a special guest. I'm excited about that conversation. And so, all right, we'll talk about it later on the next show.
Okay.
You ain't got to leave. Am I saying it right?
You ain't
got to go home. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here. I almost said it, Mom. But all right, we're closing. Talk to you guys later.
Just know you're not alone. 'Cause your health is your wealth. So for me, take care of yourself.